Hello everyone, this is part 47 of What If Naruto Learned the Secret of Shadow Clone, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Naruto gave thanks that Uzushio was an island nation. The sun was high and warm, the sandy beach radiated more natural heat into his back, and the view of scantily clad women was always worth it. Chuckling as he laid back under an umbrella to relax fully, body automatically in sage mode in such a natural state, he gave further thanks that things were peaceful. On either side of him, Tayuya and Kyuki were chatting together about plans for the city as well as diplomatic relations. In the distance they can see a good portion of the Foxton girls playing in the surf, while around them but giving them space are other beachgoers from Azu. You know, I think this is the first time in a long while I've seen you actually give in and be lazy. Tayuya poked Naruto in the side, barely getting a wiggle out of the glowing man. It's weird. You girls are always harping about me taking it easy, so I've finally decided to do so. Naruto was low on stress at the moment. Kumo was emptied of Uzumaki slaves. Akatsuki's numbers were dwindling, and Iwa most likely wouldn't try anything for a while. He had time to bask in the sun. Tayuya poked him again. You say that, but I feel like you've got something up your sleeves, so to speak. Watching his well-defined chest rise and fall, Tayuya felt her chakra stir in response to his own sage chakra and smiled. I've got to learn how to do that. Spend a few months with the toads eating bugs and gruel. Naruto chuckled at the face Tayuya made, before they all turned to see a cheering Amaru. Fu and Naruto were competing against Sakura and Sasuke, doing of all things, building a sand castle. Kyuki couldn't help but giggle. Are they children on vacation? Tayuya grumbles, Fu certainly fits the part. Ignoring them for the moment, Naruto mentally taps Kurama awake, curious about what the ancient Biju thought about what they should attend to next. So big guy, think we're in the clear for a while. Momentarily, yeah. Just remember, they'll be coming at you with something more subtle from here on. A nose not to fight you one-on-one. And Onoki was never going to anyway. Assassins, great. Either that, or a kidnapping attempt. I have something in mind for that. It had been a while since Naruto had gotten inventive with seals. Perhaps he should try something new. I've been thinking, with my Sage Chakra and Rinnegan abilities, I should be able to hunt for any more remaining Uzumaki, right? Yes, though I doubt you'll find more. You know how hard it was to find who you did. Plus, it's not like you can leave home now. Yeah, that's true. Naruto sniffed and shifted his back. He was rather sore at the moment. Hopefully, with the news of Uzushio rebuilt and the Uzumaki clan returned, any more remaining members will make the journey here themselves. Either that or nefarious actors might capture them and attempt to use them against you. Naruto could see that happening as well in this world. It was disgusting knowing that people were willing to heap such atrocities on one another, and for what? Power, prestige, honor, humans, such a disease. What's wrong, Naruto? Your thoughts have been off lately. Kurama was beginning to worry. Battle maniac he may be, Naruto was usually his moral center. That was beginning to change. Maybe you were right in the beginning. I'm the strongest or going to be. Why should I concern myself with the likes of Kumo or Iwa? Taking a deep breath, chakra subtly linking with all of his family around him and forcing himself to center his mind, he gave thanks that they didn't notice the minor intrusion. Well, Ino was looking his way but seemed content to let it go. I just want things to end peacefully. Is that so wrong? Of course not. Just remember you were the one who said ruling with fear was not the Uzumaki way. It's a quick way to be overthrown by your people. You aren't wrong. Thanks, Kurama, for listening to me gripe. For my efforts, how about breaking that little kitty cat again? She was something scrumptious. And I'm leaving you, old pervert. Naruto opened his eyes and did his best to ignore Kurama's cackling. Dirty old pervert, he was as bad as Jiraiya. Kyuki had a hand threaded into his own, turning to look at him as his breathing changed. Back with us, love. Yeah, sorry about that. Glow fading around his body, Naruto sat up to watch the rest of the family. I miss anything. Shaking her head and squeezing his hand, Kiyuki nodded ahead towards the waves where Ino and Hinata were playing around with Karen and Honoka. Just some fun. Turning to face him again, her features softened. What has you so concerned? Ha, nothing. Tayuya poked him again, her black one piece twisting a bit as she turned to him. Don't, we all felt your chakra just a moment ago. We know something's up. Sighing and seeing Kiyuki nod, Naruto gave up hiding it, just worried about the future is all. I wish this could be easy. Tayuya snorted, it could be whiskers, wipe out Kumo, smack Iwa around and put them in their place and let the rest of the world know it's peace or your foot on their back. Of course, Tayuya knew they couldn't go full bore like that, but the thought was nice. Contrary to her thoughts, Naruto nodded slowly, it is a plan. Kiyuki poked him this time, no. Bad Naruto. No taking over the world. But Tayuya's on board with it. Naruto wasn't whining, not at all. Kiyuki sighed and poked him again, no. Giggling as Naruto exaggerated his pouting before pulling her into his lap with a squawk. Hey. Let's get you double pregnant. It doesn't work that way, you idiot. Laughing up a storm as he began to tickle her, Kiyuki smacked him in the chest, let me go. Tayuya, help me. No way, you dissed my plan. Suffer. Tayuya smirked and waved to the others, giving an all-clear motion. Most likely they as well had been worried about Naruto for a moment when his chakra brushed against theirs. What an odd ability. Having been face down and napping this whole time, Shion groaned and looked back at the flirting pair. Can we include uniting my homeland under Azushio in that plan? Tayuya nods, sounds good to me. I think Naruto was planning on making a team out of you, Naruko, Fu, and Kiyuki to handle things out there. Shion hummed at that. Naruko was an interesting one, but as Naruto-sama's sister she certainly would be dependable. I do have to return home for a short while, so the least we can do is make it a productive trip. Looking over her shoulder and seeing Naruto ease up on Kiyuki, Shion grabbed his attention by wiggling her hips. Oh Naruto-sama. I could use some suntan lotion on my back. She would forever be grateful for the daring little white two-piece Hinata and Ino had convinced her to buy. It was certainly doing the job. Letting Kiyuki roll away to catch her breath, Naruto levered himself up to give Shion just what she asked for. Sure thing. Tayuya again snorted, push over. Watching Naruto for a moment, she instead tried to get her own thoughts back on track. Hey, Naruto. Sensing something off in her tone, Naruto continued to oil up Shion's back much to her delight, but he did turn an ear to the redhead. What's up, Ta-chan? What are we going to do about Akatsuki? Do you really think they'll leave us alone? No, I don't think they'll leave us alone. Naruto sighed as his thoughts fell into place slowly, less depression this time, pain is set on the thought that the elemental nations cannot exist without conflict. There's a chance he may not wait to see us even begin to come together in some way. Tayuya snorted, you obliterating Kumo and Iwa would certainly prove him right. Yeah it would. And wasn't that a kick in the balls? Naruto was doing his best not to see the world in the same way Pain did. But try as he might, he was beginning to fail in that task if not for his family continuing to encourage him. In the end though, whether it is Pain, Onoki, or anyone that threatens or attacks us will be destroyed. I can't do anything less anymore. Naruto perked up as Hinata, Ino, Karen and Honoka were jogging their way. So much tantalizing skin. Tayuya has to sigh, her own mind racing with the knowledge that even with their best efforts, war might be on the horizon. So long as we have each other, that's enough, right? Kiyuki leaned into her from her side, nodding quietly, absolutely. Finishing up and moving back, Naruto admired his work and the puddle that Shion had become. You good there? Take me Naruto-sama. Ha, maybe later. Naruto shook his head as Shion drifted back to sleep, the warm sand probably doing most of the work there. He isn't given time to rest however as Ino tackles him around the middle. Dropped on his back, his chest is suddenly full of shapely blonde. We do remember we are in public, yes. Wiggling her hips once for the fun of it, Ino instead levels a mischievous grin towards her husband. Well, I actually has a proposal for you. No more. I think 10 is more than enough, thank you. My heart needs a break. Naruto accepted the smack to his chest easily, off the mark. Blushing and laughing, Ino nodded, way off. Actually me, Hinata and Honoka are thinking about taking a few missions, if you don't mind. Doesn't sound like a big ask. What are you thinking about getting up to? Naruto watched as Ino's grin changed a bit and he turned eyes to a bashful-looking Hinata and a pointedly staring away from him Honoka. Oh, this'll be good. Just some lower-level bounties. Nothing crazy. Honest. Ino could feel his body tense up under him. Okay, so maybe one on the list is an S-class, but everyone else is A or below. Ah yes, that makes it all better. Naruto tried hard not to grumble about it, but he could see and feel that the girls really wanted to go out and get their hands dirty, and he really couldn't fault them for that. So long as all of you get the Harasshan down so you can use it in an emergency, I won't complain too much. Ino cheered, throwing a fist in the air. Easy peasy. Naruto has been training with us with it. Has she now? Naruto would have to step up his training with his little sister. So where are these bounties? That got Ino to stop dancing in place and even Hinata was fully looking away now while chuckling nervously. Oh, I'm going to love this, aren't I? Land of Fire. Try again. Okay, so border of Land of Fire. I feel like we're getting closer now. Ino huffed, crossing her arms under her bust. Does the location even really matter? Seeing Naruto raise his eyebrows at her, she bounces in place once. Boob distraction. Seeing his frown begin to deepen, she eventually cracks. Okay, so they might be between fire and stone. There's the other shoe. Naruto sighs heavily, thinking about it for all of a second. So long as you really do learn how to use the Harasshan, I'll leave it alone. Do not trespass into Iwa. I really will be forced to wipe 'em off the map. Ino cheered again. Riptide Team 2 is back in action. Tayuya grumbled, sure wish I could get out of the remission. Ino pointed a finger towards her. You're the one who wanted to get knocked up. Blame yourself. I blame the idiot. Same thing. Ino gave a cheeky reply before running off with Tayuya hot on her heels, laughing the whole way. Left alone, Naruto sat up and accepted Hinata coming to sit at his side, leaning into his shoulder. You'll be careful, right? Naruto asked quickly as Honoka came to shimmy into his lap. Hinata nods, of course darling. Iwa won't even know we were there. She threaded a hand into his. We'll come home safely, that's a promise. We don't break promises around here. On our word, we will come home. Naruto grinned and leaned over to kiss her softly. Good. Turning away and missing Hinata turn nearly completely red, Naruto relaxed again. Sure, things weren't completely calm, but life was good. Real good. A few days later and walking next to the ever-surprising blonde, Karen honestly wanted to be down in the basement levels of the tower for a more fun reason. No, they couldn't be headed to her workshop, and oh no, they couldn't be headed to mess with Hiden's talking head. No. Today Naruto decided that he needed to do something with Kabuto. She didn't want to be anywhere near the snake, but she was also one of the few who knew the snake and could be objective about what to do with him. Naruto himself walked with his hands linked behind his back, long battle jacket on and clothes recently cleaned. His mind was as focused as it could be for the moment. Do I even want to ask what you recommend we do with him? We don't need him for anything, but having him locked up down here is getting rather old. Karen nods, adjusting her glasses as they walked down empty but well-lit corridors. Tayuya recommends killing him. Karen did as well, but kept that quiet. Naruto nods. If he deserved that, I would. But from the information we've gathered, he's had a rather shit time of it, hasn't he? Naruto thought back on it. Kabuto had been orphaned, raised by a woman running said orphanage, ended up getting scouted by Danzo of all people. From there it had gone from bad to worse. Being sent on missions earlier than most, but ending up having to kill the woman that raised him. From there he got passed around by Orochimaru, Danzo, and Sasori at one point. Never mind all the heinous actions he had eventually been a part of. Maybe he wouldn't have turned out so bad if someone had given him a real chance. Karen shrugged. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll never know because we can't change the past. Karen sighed as they found the final stairwell leading to the cell block. You sure you don't want to have a quickie in a storage closet back the way we came? She leaned into Naruto and gave him her best flirtatious look. Karen-chan needs her Uzumaki-sama. Getting a squeak out of the girl as he pulled her into his side, Naruto shook his head with a short laugh. Be good and you just might get what you're looking for later. Business first. Nodding with a smile, Karen did allow him to let her go. Just remember, screwed up by those monsters or not, Kabuto did still experiment on people and kill droves of them. Naruto nods as the light level dims, but they can hear very off-key singing from up ahead. Murder is the ninja's art. But I hear you. Just remember he did try to help us in his own way. If only to save his skin. Another point. Naruto sighed as the singing became more clear, a jaunty sailor's shanty that was only half remembered by Naruto's estimation. Did you really have to put Hiden right next to him? You said I couldn't torture him. Karen gave him an innocent smile as Naruto heaved another heavy sigh, plus I needed some sealing practice. I can only imagine what you did. Passing rows of empty cells, Naruto and Karen first come upon the talking head of Hiden. There wasn't much left of him, just a talking head sat upon a pedestal with intricate seals running up and down its length glowing in a mixture of greens and reds. Oi! Shut up will you! Stopping his singing, Hiden turned enraged eyes towards the blonde, you whore's son. Jashin will smite you and devour your soul soon. Just you wait and see. You and those harlots you surround yourself with. In fact, why don't you come in here? I'll gnaw your face off. Coward. Fight me. No balls. Rolling her eyes, Karen steps forward to give the captured Akatsuki member a hard look. Do I need to remind you who's keeping you alive right now? Shut it, dog. Glasses glinting, the young woman grins at the look of intense fear that instantly forms on Hiden's face. Yes, mistress. Hiden's cell was suddenly very quiet, while Naruto turned an arched eyebrow towards his wife. Do I want to know? You can spank it out of me later. Sighing and decided that no, he didn't want to know. Well, right this second anyway. Turning to continue on, Naruto and Karen come to stand before a quiet but kneeling Kabuto. Been a while, Kabuto. Can I just thank you for shutting him up? To Naruto, Kabuto looked comfortable for the most part, if heavily sealed and dressed in a brown prison jumpsuit. To what do I owe the honor? A visit from the Azukiage himself was not something I ever expected. Am I finally to be executed? The Uzumaki clan does not kill just because it is convenient. If I did kill you, it would be because you absolutely deserved it. Folding his hands together behind his back, Naruto sighed but looked down on the kneeling Kabuto, but, right now I don't think you do. You gave us information that helped in the recovery of Uzumaki clan members. If only for that, you deserve at least my thanks. So, thank you, Kabuto, for being good to your word. Kabuto chuckled but bowed his head all the same. I do that quite often. Tell the truth, that is. Karen stood off to the side though both men caught her mumbling about broken clocks. Naruto still was here for a reason and continued to eye Kabuto. Look, here's the deal. You are going to have your chakra sealed, but in exchange you will have some modicum of freedom. Naruto hooked a thumb over his shoulder towards the glasses-wearing redhead. You'll be under her supervision and are not to leave her side unless directed by her to someone else to watch you. Someone will be with you at all hours of the day. Got that? That is a most kind offer considering the circumstances. Kabuto eyed Naruto with some suspicion, wondering if this was yet another moment where he would be used and abused. What did I do to deserve this? Naruto sniffs and puts his hands on his hips. You got a shit deal. I thought I had it bad, but you've really had one shitty time after another. Unlike me, you had no one to help you out. So even though no one truly trusts you at the moment, I think you deserve at least one chance. Naruto's eyes harden here, wanting to get his point across, but only one. Fact is, you did do a lot of horrible shit and I'm not going to blindly believe everyone is redeemable. You throw this chance away and not even hell will be far enough for you to escape my wrath. Shuffling on his knees and continuing to eye Naruto while the bun-haired Karen looked down on him with nothing but scorn, Kabuto weighed his options. Granted, staying in this cell with his only long-term company being a literal talking head didn't sound like a good way to spend the rest of his days. But was this a false path to freedom? Naruto didn't seem the type to betray him, but power changed everyone. Kabuto did want to be out of here, however, and whatever it took to make that happen was worth it. Bowing and placing his forehead on the floor, Kabuto decided to give this a chance. I accept your terms. Nodding once, Naruto relaxed just a tad. I know this is heavy-handed and not something I would normally do, but one day I'd like to see you leave. I've given a lot of people second chances and I haven't had many regrets yet. So hopefully, so long as the world continues to trend towards peace, one day you too will have your freedom. Kabuto finally cracks a grin. Then I hope the world does one day know peace. Kabuto doesn't see the clone Naruto has made, but he does feel the chop to his neck. He's unconscious before he hits the floor, while Naruto and Karen turn to each other. Welp, while the clone gets about setting up seals and the like, let me say this. Naruto brings Karen in for a tight hug where she settles in easily, if for any reason you don't want this responsibility. If he so much as breathes wrong, you tell me and I'll stuff him in a hole so deep he'll never see the light of day again. Honestly, really considering it, Karen had to remind herself that Orochimaru was well and truly dead. That Kabuto was not his former master and he had in fact helped them recover their family. Sighing, she as well needed to remember that Naruto had given the likes of her and Tayuya second chances and look where they were now. Could she deny Kabuto a single chance? It will be hard, yeah, but like I get where you're coming from. It's the right thing to do, giving him a chance to redeem himself. Karen turned kind eyes up to the smiling Naruto. You gave all of us a second chance. Most of Azushio is full of ninja working on their own redemption. Why can't Kabuto get his own chance? Good. I want you on board if we do this. Just, maybe don't give him the hidden treatment. Karen giggled as Naruto steered him away, back down the hallway from whence they came. No promises, but I will give him a fair chance. She'd be locking him in her workshop in the basement for now. He had a sharp mind and she did have a few projects where some extra eyes would be beneficial. She'd have to get Honoka up to speed on him first. But that was for later. So, about that quickie. Rolling his eyes, Naruto relented and picked the woman up in a bridal carry. You know what? You earned it. Where's that closet? Yay. B. Obito knew that his mind wasn't all there. Being crushed by a boulder, watching his team move on without him. Watching his first love be killed by someone he considered a brother and working towards a goal to enact his own worldview on the rest of the world. No, he knew he was broken. That said, he considered that relying on Kurotsuki of all people for directions was a stupid idea even for him. The highest of all mistakes really. They had been able to charter a ship from Kiri to Izu easily enough, but then he had made his mistake, letting the woman lead the way once they had arrived. Now he stood, far away from the docks but somehow never meeting a single person since they had left the crowded area. Surrounded by warehouses and storage facilities, Obito had a moment of true clarity. This woman somehow had to be using time, space ninjutsu. It was the only way it all made sense. Proving his point, they left a rather clean alleyway to come out onto a busy street. Shops and restaurants populated the area aplenty and Obito couldn't get over the sudden increase in noise and smells. It was such a vibrant place, a tourist trap to be sure. But they found civilization at least as he reached forward and pulled a confused Kurotsuki back behind him. I'm leading from now on. But, I know where I'm going. We circled the same warehouse 3 times in a row. I don't think you could find your way out of a closet. That only happened once. Kurotsuki blushed as several passerby looked at her strangely, though her embarrassment increased as the masked man turned to look at her in complete silence. Just once. That doesn't make it better. Obito took note of several samurai walking the streets, some of which were eyeing them but saying nothing nor were they approaching them. We need to move. Finally, at least Obito considered that they had made it to Izu and he could be rid of this walking catastrophe. Let her run off and get the stuffing beaten out of her by the cage. He didn't know a thing about Naruto as the Azukage, but even he knew enough that if the rest of the major villages were leaving Azushio alone, that had to mean he had power. Shuddering as he remembered vividly what an angry Kushina could do, he didn't want to consider a child of hers as any less frightening. No. While he was after the Sanbi, he would be doing his best to stay under the radar and avoid combat with the Uzumaki for now. Which meant leaving Kurotsuki to her fate, something he was more than happy to do. Dressed in a more normal traveling cloak though still with his bright orange mask, Obito spotted what looked like a hotel and made his way towards it, idly snagging Kurotsuki by the collar as she attempted to dive back into the alley. We need somewhere to stay, yes. Wasn't there a hotel back this way? Kurotsuki pouted as the man physically turned her to see a tall and well-designed hotel not far from him. Oh yeah, that's it. Focus, I said I would help you but I can't fix everything. Oh dear, you've been lost for a while, I'm happy to see we found you. Startling the pair, a long black-haired woman dressed much like a housewife materialized between them, a happy smile on her face while holding a clipboard. You failed to register when you stepped off your charter and we do have rules about that sort of thing. Kurotsuki and Obito look at each other for a moment, having stopped on the sidewalk along with this strange woman. How had neither of them sensed her? Kurotsuki, however, decided to argue, "We're not here to cater to whatever weird ideas you have, ABO." Obito shoves her aside, coughing once into a fist. Toby is sorry for her. Toby tries to help, but she's a little Toby made a motion at the side of his head, to which the woman nodded slowly. "Yes, I'm slow." Toby is Toby, from the land of rivers. She is Kurotsuki, from Iwa. Toby watched as the woman jotted down their information with a bright smile before taking a single step back and bowing to them. "Please enjoy your stay and follow the rules." Here she stands and hands a pamphlet to Toby, who takes it with raised eyebrows. "It's all rather simple, but you will be punished accordingly if you break the rules. Have fun, and please, don't wander off again." Bowing once more, Tsunami decided they were the oddest pair she had met recently before she melted back into the moving crowds. She needed to go check on Tazuna and make sure he wasn't corrupting Inari. Reading the pamphlet quickly, Toby ignores the suddenly curious Kurotsuki, who has her arms crossed. That woman was creepy. Who the hell could sneak up on him so easily? They were veteran ninja, that shouldn't be possible. Toby, however, goes back to walking, snagging his companion to keep her from wandering off. "For now you should lay low and figure out a surefire way to draw out the maelstrom. Best not get arrested before completing your mission." Kurotsuki grinned and pumped a fist in the air. "That's easy." She could almost hear Toby's neck crack with how quickly he turned to face her. "Well, the maelstrom is the cage of this place, right? And the cage has to defend his home. So like, I was thinking. By the Kami save me. As I was thinking." Kurotsuki was satisfied by the grunt Toby let out when she elbowed him, "that if I cause enough ruckus, he would have to come to me, right? So I level a few buildings, maybe blow up a ship or two, and bing bang boom, the maelstrom comes to stop me and I kick his ass in front of his people." Coming to a stop within spitting distance of the hotel, Toby sighed quietly to himself. What did Toby do to deserve this? Was this diving punishment? It felt like it. Question for you. Sure. But hurry up, I need to get to smashing things. How long had she been away from home anyway? Grandpa might be worried about her by now. Did you consider that you would be intercepted by a literal flood of ninja before the maelstrom is even notified about your rampage? Obito sighed while feeling the weight of having to explain a really simple concept to a child. Between ninja guards, those samurai, and whatever that woman was that snuck up on us, you would be ripped to shreds right away. Kurotsuki hummed in thought. You might have a point. That woman still weirded her out. Okay, well, if you're so smart, why don't you come up with a plan, bestie? We are not besties. Obito again had to snag Kurotsuki by the wrist. The name of the game is subtle. Be subtle. Nodding quickly, Kurotsuki grins brightly and reverses his hold, taking him by the wrist and dragging him into the hotel. Got it? Be sneaky first, then blow things up. Gotcha, gotcha. First things first, we need a place to stay. Kurotsuki turned back to smile at him. You promised to help me, so no running away from this. Letting the woman drag him inside, Obito decided that so long as she could keep things quiet and peaceful, he would stick around. It gave him time to scout and research the area. Hopefully he could find the Sanbi quickly. With luck, long before this crazy woman decided to blow something up. I did offer to help. That's right, bestie. Now let's get a room. We aren't besties. Sure we are. Kurotsuki was already making plans in her head. She was here, in Azushio. One step closer to finding the maelstrom and having her rematch. She wouldn't give him the chance to run away this time. B. Nestled comfortably within a tatami mat-laden sitting room, Naruto and Fu were sitting together sharing snacks at a low table, while across from them on the other side Kyuki and Shion had a spread of mission folders all over the table space. In front of them the sliding doors of the room were wide open and they had a view of their new backyard, where a few of the rescued Uzumaki were tooling about with the garden as the sun was beginning to set, the sky illuminated in beautiful orange and red. Naruto was happy to crunch a rice cracker between her teeth, so bro gave us the go-ahead for this, right? Kyuki nods. Yup, we're going to tour the continent holding the land of demons. With hard work and some luck we're going to start building new allies in the area. Shion sighs as she secretly wished she could spend more time with Naruto, but she realized that there was work to be done. A lot of work. My country will be little problem. Without the threat of the Mario, we can focus on other matters entirely. Like building relations with their neighbors. Naruto shrugs, eyes trailing over the yard and watching several birds that were flitting about the bushes. I can just spam clones and overrun the area. It'd take a few days, but I can raise all of our enemies to the ground. Rolling her eyes, Kiyuki reaches across the table to flick Naruto in the forehead. No, bad kitty. I'm not a cat. Fu reached over and tugged at her ear. Bad kitty. I'm a bad kitty. Kiyuki nodded as Fu seemed to have the girl under control. Our first objective is to bring the various daimyo on board with what we are trying to do. Creating legions of clones and running berserk would not be a good first impression. Fu raises a hand. So what are we trying to accomplish with this trip? More allies. Kiyuki again nods with a smile. Yes and no. Naruto isn't wrong. The world is changing and Azushio is doing its best to keep up with it. That said, it's starting to feel like the time of ninja being the sole power structure is starting to wane. Kiyuki could see the confusion on Fu and Naruto's faces and pointed at Fu specifically. Why be worried about rampaging Biju if there are normal humans strong enough to destroy villages and cities all by themselves? Why be concerned about lower-level ninja when we're starting to see tools and sophisticated weapons capable of keeping up with them? More power is entering the hands of normal everyday people and that's shifting the balance of power. Naruto actually settles down to think about that. Technological advancement is beginning to outstrip ninja ability, is that it? Yup. Kiyuki sighed and sits back for a moment. It'll still take some time yet, but the fact is that there is a new world on the horizon. We certainly don't know what that'll look like just yet. No wonders, but we can try to guide it. Kiyuki accepted a cracker from Fu as she slid a folder in front of herself and opened it. Shion was thoughtful as well and chimed in with her own musings. Our job for now is to try and unite my continent. Preferably all under the Azushio banner. Failing that, at least half of the nations will suffice if we can at the least garner non-aggression pacts with the remainder. We're looking for peace, not building a totalitarian regime. Why worry about anyone else who doesn't want to be a part of Azushio's alliance? Fu was curious and wasn't seeing why they should worry about nations that most likely didn't have military forces to worry about in the first place. Kiyuki shrugs, getting at least half of the nations to agree to not start conflicts with Azu-related nations would be a major win. Whether they alone have power or not, we shouldn't need to be reminded that a lot of smaller targets can still cause a lot of trouble. Plus, even if they aren't a part of Azushio, we can still make them into trade partners and new points for education and the like. Shion perks up with that. That is a good point and we want to be thorough. Educating the masses is a major step towards changing how a country operates. Standardizing education has already seen results. She had gone over some of that paperwork with Kiyuki, the pregnant daimyo appreciating the extra hand. My country will certainly benefit from the new standards. Naruto shrugs and decides to put the heavy thinking away for now. I'm still okay with getting dirty and fighting our way through the country. I'll protect you both from any assholes who think they can get to you while you figure out the peace talks with other daimyo. Fu pulls Naruto into her lap with a bright smile. Oh, don't you worry so much. This'll be a combat-free trip, just you wait and see. Kiyuki nods. That's the plan and I'd like to get started soon. Think you can haration us to the land of demons first thing tomorrow? Getting a thumbs up from Naruto, who was now completely distracted, Kiyuki sighed and turned to Shion. We should prepare as much as possible. Shion stretched her arms above her head. Oh poo. I wanted more time alone with Naruto-sama. Didn't I see you leave a room with him and Hinata? No. Shion saw the deadpan look on Kiyuki's face and blushed heavily. She talked me into it. Kiyuki sighed and reminded herself to grill Hinata for the details later. You really are taking your priestess duties seriously. It helps that they're so enjoyable. Maybe Shion would be able to get a repeat before they left. Never hurt. Not far away from the quartet, Hinata, Ino and Honoka were relaxing together within the outdoor bath of the Uzumaki estate. With Naruto setting up seal-based haration transport rings, they could now easily move between the two homes much to their delight. Some of the Uzumaki survivors had joined them this evening. Still standoffish for most men outside of Naruto himself, the women had felt a bit bad as the Uzumaki leader had waved off from joining them this evening. He had claimed that he wanted to give them space to adjust and get used to being free and didn't seem to listen as the women tried and failed to convince him that they didn't mind his attendance. They appreciated his concern. but it was a bit frustrating. The only boy of the group that had been returned, Sauta, was playing not far away with one of the other girls. The older woman they had met before, Kikyo, was trying her best to keep the boy from being too spoiled, but it was a hard endeavor when all of the girls kept lavishing him with attention. Still, she watched on quietly with a satisfied smile on her face, body relaxed in the hot waters. One of the rescued women had joined the group tonight. Sayuri had her vibrant red hair cut short into a bob, but she was very much a civilian. Body soft with no muscle tone to speak of, but she was having fun getting information from the girls. I'm sorry we couldn't convince Lord Naruto to join us. We really don't have a problem with him being here. He doesn't expect that from us after all. Ino shrugs, he's trying to be considerate is all. Give him a few days, he'll come around. Ino personally thought that the girls were pushing themselves and she thought Naruto did the right thing. There was a lot of trauma for these girls to unpack after all. Their treatment in Kumo was on another level of horrible. Besides, sometimes it's good to have just girl time. Floating over was a taller girl named Yuka with the same vibrant red hair as the others, though hers was done up in pigtails. Green eyes taking in the group with a grin, I don't know, we need to increase Uzumaki numbers one way or another. And Naruto-sama is certainly easy on the eyes. Chuckling, Honoka shook her head, we actually have a few members that are pregnant at the moment. 3 in fact. Honoka smiled as Yuka and Sayuri both brightened up at that news, while in the distance they could see Kikyo seem to sit up a bit straighter. Eyes wide, Sayuri is all smiles, how far along are they? Do we know if they're having boys or girls yet? Who's pregnant already? Hinata giggles as the excited girl bounces in place while she leans against Ino while shaking her head. Kayuki, Kotohime and Taiya are all pregnant. Sex of the children is unknown at the moment, but I think Kotohime and Kayuki are both around 4 or 5 months along now, right? Hinata turned to Ino who nodded. Yeah, Taiya is about 2 months along. Time really does fly when we have so much going on. Ino was happy for the girls, even if there was a bit of a betting pool going on about who would get knocked up next. Her money was on Hinata. No matter how careful the girl could be, accidents happened. Especially when they did it as much as Hinata did. The little rabbit. Hinata nudges the blonde with a grin, you're probably next, or Karen. Hinata's money was fully on Ino. Nah, I'm always careful. Not far from them all, a tired-looking Kikyo is picking up and dozing off Sauta and is making for the exit. Yuka, Sayuri, we should be turning in soon. She was used to keeping track of her family. Old habits were hard to break. Sayuri sighed while Yuka stood and stretched. Man, I'm trying not to be envious, but the thought of little ones running around has me all tingly. Yuka grinned and winked at the girls, maybe one day, huh? Honoka waved as they left, maybe one day. Personally she wanted to be next, even if she had been keeping busy with work. Perhaps she could tide down Naruto for a day or two. But as the bath emptied out and they were left on their own, she turned to the others, so, our bounty mission. We have a plan yet? Hinata shook her head, Naruto wasn't wrong. Our target isn't that far from Iwa's border, so we need to be careful. All reports tell that they're keeping to a small out-of-the-way village. Ino shrugs as she's back to leaning against her friend, short of something going horribly wrong we really don't have much to worry about. Between the 3 of us there aren't many that can hold a candle to us anymore. It helped that they regularly sparred with Naruto of all people. Lasting any length of time against him put one solidly into a or S class right away. The monster. Don't get a big head about things, Ino. Hinata cautioned her while they all relaxed together. Things never ended well when they got complacent. You need to woman up. We'll be fine. I think we all know I'm plenty woman for any task. Maybe you should cut back on those cinnamon rolls, all that sugar isn't healthy. Says you. Honoka broke both girls from their friendly bickering, laughing as she watched them. You both are just as much in love with each other as you are with Lord Naruto. Looking at each other for a moment, Hinata and Ino finally shrugged together while Ino answers for them, you aren't wrong. Life has been fun this way. Hinata agrees, she's like a weird sister I never knew I needed. You sure weren't calling me sis the other night. That was for Naruto, unless we need a reminder of the kinds of things you can get up to. Wanna trade notes? Maybe. Honoka sighed and flicked water their way, how about we get back on topic? We have a lot of planning to do. Hinata mentally makes a note to revisit this but nods to Honoka's words all the same. You're correct, of course. We should endeavor to complete our mission quickly and return home. Ino agrees. With luck, taking down a few major bounties will increase Izu's reputation. Maybe by the time the next Chunin exams roll around we'll have a team or two to send and scare the pants off of the competition. Honoka nods, so long as nothing goes wrong. Yup, which nothing will go wrong with us on the job. Ino had full confidence in the group. They would be fine. They trained much too hard to let some asshole get the better of them. Plus, Naruto would scold them if something bad happened. Or worse, withhold sexy time. B. The Great Naruto Bridge. For many, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. An embrace by a leader willing to put his own life on the line to protect those that could not protect themselves. For others it was a great marker, the sign that one was entering a land of new opportunities. On this overcast day for Itachi, the crowded bridge reminded him that it had been a long time since he had been around crowds worth of people. While his goal to hunt down his brother was starting here, he considered how best to go about that. Naruto would know where Sasuke was, but how to get to Naruto quickly without wasting time. Itachi supposed that simple plans were the best, and Naruto was fanatical about his people. Walking along and wondering if Sasuke was here at all, Itachi grinned a bit with Tsunami made her way to his side, almost materializing from the crowd to match pace with him. Oh. Hello again, back for another visit. Tsunami made a point to remember notable visitors, and by Naruto's word, Itachi was someone never to forget. Something like that. Is Naruto around? I need to see him. Tsunami hums at that, before shaking her head. Azuki-sama is very busy today. Perhaps you can make lodging arrangements and I can set up an appointment. Tsunami turned to him, only to see bright red pinwheel eyes. No need, I think I have a faster way to get his attention. Hypnotizing the woman to force Naruto to come out would be simple. Or should be. Itachi frowns as a seal flares up on Tsunami's forehead and alarms sound all around them. In the next breath, Tsunami is gone and replaced by an angry-looking Naruto flanked by Sasuke and Sakura. Oh, you are here, little brother. Naruto reaches forward, grabbing the smug-looking Itachi by the front of his cloak. Bad move, asshole. With a thought, they are gone again, leaving the bridge behind. Caught flat-footed by a foot to the chest, Itachi is sent tumbling end over end before unceremoniously dropped on his ass. Kicking up dust and debris, Itachi is quick to make it back to his feet, observing the rocky terrain around him as Naruto and his team face off against him. Well, that was rude. Casually dusting himself off, he wondered if maybe he made a mistake. Naruto crossed his arms, chakra flaring. Don't touch my people. That kick had felt good. I only needed your attention, I meant her no harm. Which was the truth. Itachi wasn't one to kill needlessly. Now that you are here, we can talk. Well, you got my attention. Sage mode settling over him, Naruto grinned and bared sharpening canines. I hope you don't regret that. Having sat back and watched his older brother quietly, Sasuke finally stepped forward, holding a hand out in front of Naruto calmly. Can you hang back? Sasuke turned cool eyes to match Naruto's own. Please. Watching his friend and brother for a few moments, Naruto eventually nods and steps back with Sakura. Your call. This was Sasuke's business after all. If he wanted to go it alone, Naruto would let him. Sakura grunts at that, hands on her hips. This would go a lot faster if we just teamed up and beat the snot out of him together. Sakura didn't need to turn to see the look Naruto was sending her, so she instead gave him the finger without looking. Men and your code. So stupid. Naruto grinned at her. I'll remember that next time you and the girls shout something about girl code. Girl code is sacred and not to be trifled with. Says you. Yes, says me. Rolling his eyes as his teammates bicker, Sasuke turned to face Itachi fully. So, we finally get to see each other again. Sasuke tilted his head a bit. You look like shit. Itachi huffed, hands folded in his jacket sleeves. I wonder if you've improved at all since we last fought. Or has your weakness persisted? Sighing, Sasuke doesn't turn his eyes away from Itachi's. Coal black meeting coal black. I know, you know. Why you killed our family, why you spared me. Do we really need to continue this? Eyes going wide as chakra begins to circulate through his body, Itachi begins to grin widely. Nothing has changed. Uchiha blood is still on my hands. You know the only way that can be cleansed is through fire. Ah, fire. I must die. So either you put me down. Here Itachi's eyes again shift into the Sharingan, Sasuke doing the same, or I finish what I started. Sighing and wishing things could be different, Sasuke shakes his head slowly. I get it, you know. You've been holding in that guilt all this time, and the only one who can give you absolution is me. While I've always wanted to surpass you, killing you shouldn't be necessary. Sasuke had been thinking long and hard about some of the conversations he and Naruto had been having. About the idea that someone was manipulating the Uchiha and possible the world over. Seeing Itachi, he could believe it. Plus, rebuilding the clan would be a lot easier with two of us. It's a lot of work. Sakura couldn't help herself, pumping a fist into the air. You certainly weren't complaining the other night. Happily she high-fived a chuckling Naruto while Sasuke and Itachi gave her bored looks. Sasuke turned back to his soon-to-be opponent. Sorry, where was I? You were gloating about rebuilding the clan. I'm not gloating, I just need some help is all. Itachi chuckled, shaking his head. I'm starting to think you've been lacking in your training. I really will kill you, you know that right? Sasuke took a few seconds to just watch his brother before nodding again. I know you will. And while I had promised to do this together with Naruto, perhaps I do need to do this alone. Here Sasuke looked at Naruto from over his shoulder. Sorry bro, no fight for you today. Yeah, kick his ass so we can head back, I've got teasing to do. Naruto had his arms crossed while his jacket fluttered in the wind, Sakura leaning against him while she gave Sasuke a thumbs up. Don't get too reckless. I'll step in if you do and beat your ass instead. Chuckling, Sasuke turned back to focus fully on Itachi, though he directs his words to his girlfriend. How about when I win, I finally give in to your demands. That sets Sakura to flushing a deep crimson, while Naruto grins and pokes her in the cheek. I just heard something really interesting. What did you demand he do, huh? Wanna share with big bro Naruto? NNN never you mind. It's our business. Ours. Come on Sakura-chan, you know I'm gonna get it out of you. NNN no. Shut up. Stay away. It was too late. Naruto already had an arm over her shoulders and began to grill her about it while Itachi and Sasuke started to circle each other. Itachi was looking around, but didn't see any landmarks that would place where they were. Curious. We're quite far from Azushio. A bit dangerous, isn't that? Sasuke's mouth stretched into a grin as his eyes shifted into the Mangekyo. Beat me and I'll let you in on the secret. Seeing genuine surprise on Itachi's face, Sasuke's grin grew a bit more. Oh ho, I finally surprised you. How do you have those eyes? Oh, don't worry. These are the least of the surprises that are in store for you. Sasuke was ready. It was time for a showdown with his brother. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.